I don't believe in this team. I was very annoyed on Saturday. Come on, guys. Like, what are we doing here? You're talking about a guy that had a 5+ ERA in AAA this year, and he gets shut out, like dominated quietly, especially after the 4th inning. They played 10 consecutive days in 3 different cities, had a little travel blip mixed in. They went 6-4 on the trip. I said to you at the beginning of that 10 games that the Phillies were going to go 6-4 in Texas, Cincinnati, and Washington. You probably would have predicted 6-4, and you certainly would have accepted it. You probably would have said they lose 2 out of 3 to the Rangers, they win 2 out of 3 to the Reds, or switch them up, and then they go take 3 out of 4 against the Nationals, and that's how you get to your 6.
Yeah.
It's a decent trip. They have a 5-game lead. It's miserable to watch, though. Like, I'm watching it. I get it. Like, if you're like, this thing sucks, I hate this. Like, and I'm like, yeah, but like if you just step back and look at what happened over the last 10 games, the Wheeler injury is a whole different ballgame, right? It's also out of their control. They did a fine job. Like, they did their jobs. It's just that when their trip starts the way it does, obviously, 4-0, and you're thinking, wow, this could be a 7-3 or 8-2 trip if they just do what they're supposed to do. 6-4 leaves a little bit of a bitter taste in your mouth. But that's been like the whole thing with this team. This last 10 days is much like this season. Like, they're 18 games over 500. They're tracking 90, 92, 93 wins. This is what I thought they were going to be all along, and I'm still disappointed / underwhelmed / very annoyed at times watching this.
It's strange, Bob, because yes, they're still successful. They're still doing what they need to do. Here we are, despite all of this, and they're still the number 2 seed, or tied for the number 2 seed with the Dodgers in the National League. They're probably going to win the National League East. They still may get a bye. Like, they might not have to be in that wild card round. Like, all these things could still happen very realistically, right? And yet there's a lot of hate watching going on. And it's I don't know. I don't understand why, other than the whole familiarity breeds contempt.
I think it's the smartest thing I've said all year on this show. I mean, I just think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, they've been largely a 500 team for multiple months now. They heated up. They extended beyond 500. They really gained some ground. And, 18 is better than the 14 they were sitting at a couple weeks ago. But you want to see, like, you look at what Milwaukee's doing right now, and 2 things about that. One, the Brewers could be peaking too early. I might actually subscribe to that theory. I just don't know if the Brewers can stay this hot and then or cool down and then heat back up to this degree again in October. I think that they're playing a little bit above their heads. But I think people that watch the Phillies would feel a lot better if the Phillies could play 10 straight days of consistently good baseball. And that's the one thing that they haven't really done. Like, even if you go back to those Texas games, like, you can't start picking apart wins here, but like the top of the order did not hit at all. And you like go, okay, well, it's the bottom of the order that's driving the train here. That's great. That buoys them. That's going to give the top of this lineup an opportunity to get rolling and really get this offense rolling. And maybe they win 8 out of 9, 11 out of 14. And like, that is what is escaping them right now. Like, they did put together a little run there prior to the let up in Cincinnati, but I think people want to see good offense. Guys get hot together for 14 days, and that's one thing that this team just cannot seem to do.
Yeah, and so, you think about it, and you think about it when, you look ahead to October, and for all the reasons that you said, also no Zach Wheeler possibility, it's hard to see this team going on a long run. But the one thing that you can sit there and say is, maybe the fact that they are grinding games out this year, and all their wins seem to be grind them out wins. They don't have a lot of comfortable victories, right? Like, everything seems to be hard. Like, every victory.
Did you know? I don't know if this is something that the Phillies media team is putting out there in the pregame notes, but Fransky mentioned this on the radio broadcast yesterday. that the Phillies are 41-43 this season when Kyle Schwarber does not homer.
Yeah.
And I think that is framed in a way that shows Kyle Schwarber's importance to the Phillies. But it speaks to what you're talking about. Like, everything is a grind with this team. And if Kyle Schwarber isn't Superman, this team is not very good.
Yeah, mediocre, right? But the one thing you could say about that is maybe they're one of those teams that finds a way to do the survive and advance kind of philosophy, where every round is going to go the distance. Every round is going to be, hanging by the edge of your seat. Everything's close. No easy wins in the playoffs. You might even have a couple of real frustrating losses, but that they have that mentality to somehow find a way. It could just as easily kill them. It could just as easily knock them out because they rely on that.
The previous playoff failures and the fact that they probably know they're not that good. You could say in 23 they got overconfident. They got too comfortable against the Diamondbacks. You could say even last year, knowing how poorly how mediocre they were in the second half of the season, there still had to be some degree of we dominated the division. We are the team. We're better than we've ever been. You're the Mets. Like, even if the Mets playing the Phillies as tough as they typically do, you could talk yourself into being like, we're the Phillies, you're the Mets. We're going to show up and just win these games because we're entitled to do so. This team, I don't think, could possibly feel that way coming into the playoffs this year if they get there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that they have to have a different approach, a different mentality going into October than maybe they have in the previous few years. It's a different feeling this year. I think 22 came out, surprised everybody. 23 was overconfidence. 24 was still kind of like, hey, we know we struggle, but we are the best team and we're going to figure it out. And then they never did. I think this year they got to go into it like, okay, we're good, but not that good.
Yeah.
And we need to show that we're better than, we need to compete harder. We need to do things a little bit differently. We need to create offense in different ways. We need to be smarter in how we match up our bullpen. Like things like that. Like they have to go in with that kind of mentality. Otherwise, they're going to lose again.